Hey B-Mom, notice anything different? There's a couple of things. No beard, and there's no more echo. I'm filming out in the new building, and want to do an intro, and this neighbor's mowing the lawn, that neighbor's cutting steel, this neighbor's vacuuming out the car, this neighbor's blasting music. You may ask Brian, how's the bike staying up if it doesn't have a kickstand? And you can't hear any of it because I got the sound deadening panels on. See them all pinned up all over the place. Anyway, that's really exciting. So you see behind me, I've got the Subaru here. This video is on ball joints, and in this particular case, it's a little bit tricky. A ball joint is basically, for those that don't know, it's a ball and socket type joint. And usually they get used in the same position over and over again, and they'll wear it in a certain area, and that's where the play will be. Once there's a little bit of play, that messes up your alignment, and it kind of makes it drift and do weird things. You get bump steer, which basically you hit a bump and it's like, whoa, where are we going, where are we going, instead of just bump and just being cool with it, right? So this one was weird because normally with a ball joint, what I do is I test it a couple of different ways. I pick it up an inch off the ground, shove a pry bar underneath, this is the bottom of the tire, shove a pry bar under there, and then move it up and down, and then see, because I look at the lower control arm, upper control, whichever one I'm suspecting is a bad ball joint, and I'll see if there's movement between the control arm and the steering knuckle by prying the bottom edge of the tire. So now it's a lower control arm, now it's a tire, right? Pry bar under the tire, inch gap, up, down, and then I look at the lower control arm and the steering knuckle and see if I get this going on, right? So with this, I could tell something was wrong, especially with these new concrete highways with the corduroy on them. Do you guys like those? Do you not like them? The new concrete ones, they were doing really screwy things with the Subaru. I did the alignment using the quick trick alignment system and the best that I could, and it just was still being screwy, especially on those corduroy sections. So I took it to an alignment shop, and they did it 3 times, same visit, same day. You know, I'm shooting the bull with the one guy, the other guy's doing it, test driving it, doing it, test driving. He's like, this is as close as I can get it. I don't know, man. So it passed by me having a bad ball joint, and it also passed by them having a ball joint. So I'm like, this would make a great video. It's interesting because normally the way that I test it, you can see the play there. So I usually tie rod ends give play that way, and ball joints do this way. Remember what I said about the ball joint? Ball and socket, and it wears in one place. Sometimes when you pick the car up and it goes like this, then the pressure's on another part of the ball joint. So this wasn't super bad at first. So I bought the ball joint. I went to go change a ball joint. I'm like, no, let's make for sure that it was this side. Was it this side or this side? Because it was the passenger side. And then a year and a half later, I went to do it. So anyway, check it out. This one did something weird. You're not gonna believe this.
Brian's Mobile One.
This is what a bad ball joint looks like. You see, especially if I move it from this side, you get a lot of movement. Remember when I said you grab the top and bottom to check a ball joint and the movement's in and out? It only does it when I move side to side. That's the weird part. This is what that looks like from the outside. It's like if I pull it at the bottom left, it's where I get the most movement. And that just has to do with the wear and the design of the control arm. If I'm pulling from the bottom like most, it feels solid. You don't really feel anything at all. If I just grab it at the bottom, to the top, I get the most movement out of it right about here. Here, a little bit from the back, mostly from the back end of the tire. That mostly has to do with the design of the lower control arm and the tire rods, which are like a Toyga, are on the front side of the wheel. So that's bracing that up while that's allowed to move. So if I was shaking from here, I wouldn't get much. If I shake from here, shake your booty, shake your ball joint. We found what the problem is. Now let's fix it. Let me show you how. To get the top part of the ball joint out, you got to pull this bolt here. To get to that with your socket, you got to pull the tire. At least it's easier. To get this to drop down and separate from this one down here, you've got to get this undone. This is your sway bar link. So that bolt that you see there goes alongside of the ball joint here. This goes into a cup, and then the bottom part, you can see it's tapered. So to get the taper loose, you have to have the top part undone first, or at least get the tire off and get it out of the way. And then what I do is I pull up on this here and then just wrap on the outside of it, so I create a shock wave, and the shock wave causes this to loosen up. Also, I'll spray some penetrating oil from the top, something like the extreme green stuff that I use. I'll leave a link below. That was what it was. So we have the ball joint free. Just need to get it free from this part here. That's done with just knocking it with some shock. Usually that's enough. It does help to be pulling on it at the same time you're knocking it though. Ideally, there's an open spot here that you don't see on frame. You want to hit where all the metal is. That gets you a better shock. Another thing you see people do, and I've done in the past, is take your castellated nut, put it on backwards to protect the threads. We set shock this way, this way. Let's try some from back here. One good solid hit is worth a bajillion of softer hits. I just can't get a good hit on it because it's isolated by rubber bushings. That does make it tricky. We'll let that soak for a minute. Nobody has a lower control arm for this, and nobody has a bushing. Otherwise I pull it out, set it on the bench, isolate it metal to metal, and just BAM! I may still do that. On a side note, it's easy to tell where my creaking sound is coming from. Sounds like the polyurethane bushings, which is about all I can find for this, when they're dry, when they don't have that lube on it. Let's try silicone spray, see what that does. A little foam on there, work it in. It's weird, is it smelly too? I wind up getting most of this off of the floor. It's getting quieter. There we go. That's better. I'm going to put the pitman arm puller on it because this thing's just not getting any looser, and I'm hitting on this on each side. Otherwise this should really get in there and press that off. I'm so close. So I'm going to take a cutter and just extend the taper of this a little bit. That shouldn't compromise the strength by any great degree. I'm literally cutting corners, just the corner off to be smooth instead of square. Look at this when I'm done, see if it's worth welding some more back on there. It should have been a quick, easy little job, but this thing's is old. It's been driven in the salt a lot. It's a ski car. I think that's adding to the difficulty. I hope that was rolling. Sweet. Oh, with the old in with the new. There we go. That's better. I'm saying his movement that way is okay. Huh. How much do I have through here? I don't like when they bend over, but it's just not a good fit. This pin's too fat. What I can do is grab it and drive it by that part of the pin. There we go. Apologize if I'm blocking frame. Just trying to get her done. That's fine. Yeah, bend it forward. It's so tight, it doesn't want to move. You're too good for your home. Will help prevent rust and help get it in. Spray it around on the top. Roll on it with your finger. I like the factory bolt and washer better personally. So I'm gonna reuse that. It does come with a new one. There's not even room for a socket to get on that. So I want to feel this. There we go. I had just a little bit more to go. There's a silicone spray. I'm gonna hit the sides of this. So it'll help prevent squeaks, and it'll also help it get in. Need like a plastic piece or something in there. Keep that from going too far. Alright, let's go to the long pry bar. Go under the subframe onto this guy. There we go. See? Easy. Expect a little bit of a fight. There we go. Tight, tight, tight. We're done. Put the wheel back on and see how we look. Turning that, it sounds like it's rubbing. I might have been a little too rough with it. Yep. The bottom of this splash plate got moved into the rotor. That's better. That's just brake pads now. Different sound. Some of that's because the rotor's a little loose, because it's not pinned in by the tire. If you're not familiar with these things and you do this and it makes this awful grinding sound, when you're done that can be alarming, so I left that in there. Alright, first one goes on, holds the wheel on. Now you got your hands free to do this. Bottom wants to kick out, so pin the bottom down first. I love this Milwaukee Impact. I've got a link in the description. It's kind of funny to me when you have it on, the LED lights it up and gives you some convenience. But when you're done, it tries to fade out slow, but it's just so digital. I always hit the last two and then I'm sure that I'm good and tight. So you watch this thing turn off and it's like doo 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 doo. That's kind of cool though. There we go. We go to wiggle this now. It's just solid, both sides. That's how it should be. Now you know how to change a ball joint on your Subaru.
Bonus footage at the end.
Good morning.
Calls we're gonna get.
I like it. Yeah.
Those corners are tight and loose.
Oh, that's pretty smooth.